Hey, sixth graders. Now that we're feeling comfortable with one-step equations, we're going to go ahead and step it up and increase to two-step equations. So what you need to keep in mind, the biggest thing about two-step equations is the order in which you undo things in order to get us to the correct answer. But all of our, the baseline of algebra does not change. It's still using all of those inverse operations. You're undoing a bunch of stuff, but now when you have two-step equations, the order in which you undo them is really what matters the most. So let's go ahead and talk about how these can be solved. So the first thing we need to do is simplify both sides of the equation first by combining like terms, if we have them. Now remember, like terms have the same variable raised to the same power. Have to be raised to the same power. So look for those like terms. If you can combine them, go ahead and do so right off the bat. Then we're going to undo things in the reverse order of operations. So we're actually going to eliminate our constants first by using the inverse operations of addition and subtraction. Because remember, with constants, you're adding and subtracting constants. So you're going to get rid of them by doing the opposite. Then we're going to eliminate the coefficients last, because really what you're doing with coefficients is you're multiplying them. So you're going to get rid of that by using division, the inverse operation, which is division. So here is the key. We are getting rid of all of those numbers that are cramping the variable style. We are going to isolate our variable by using the reverse order of operations. Now remember, the order of operations is PEMDAS. So if we're going to reverse that, we now get SADMEP. We will use SADMEP to undo things. So we're actually going to get rid of subtracting and adding first. Then we get rid of our division and multiplication next. And then in our next lesson, we're going to learn that we get rid of our grouping and our parentheses last. So we're going to go ahead and use SADMEP to get rid of stuff because we're undoing stuff. So we're going to use the reverse order of operations. Now, never forget what we do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other. It's so important that what you do to one side, do the other. Show your algebra T, work vertically, keep your equal signs lined up. That's your algebra T work. So let's do some examples together. We have 5x minus 4 equals 11. We have two numbers we need to get rid of. We need to get rid of the minus 4, and we need to get rid of the times 5. The order that we're going to get rid of it is SADMEP, because we're undoing stuff. So the order that we undo stuff, since we're using inverse operations to undo stuff, we're going to use the inverse order of operation, or the reverse order of operations. So we're going to get rid of subtracting and adding first. I do have subtraction. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to get rid of it by adding 4 to both sides. The negative 4 and the positive 4 cancel out. We're left with 5x equals 15. And now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my division and multiplication. I do have multiplication here. I get rid of multiplication by dividing. Remember, we use our fraction bar for our division symbol. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so I'm left with 1x equals 3. And we check our work. Let's go ahead and check so we don't forget that process. We check our work by plugging back in. Is 5 times 3 minus 4, is that indeed equal to 11? Well, let's see. Now we use our order of operations since we're not undoing stuff anymore. Now we need to do these operations. 15 minus 4 is indeed 11. We're back to where we started. Fantastic. Let's take a look at another example. And we have a negative floating around, but that's okay. We know how to handle those. So I need to get rid of the multiplying by negative 4, and I need to get rid of subtracting 2. I'm going to use my reverse order of operations, SADMEP, because I'm undoing stuff, so I'm going to do it in the reverse order of operations. I get rid of a minus 2 by adding 2, and I get 20 equals negative 4b. Now I'm going to get rid of my multiplication. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4, because what's negative 4 divided by negative 4? That's a positive 1. So I'm left with positive 1b equals negative 5. Let's check our work. Plug it back in. Is it true that -4 times -5 minus 2, let's see what we end up getting. Well, this gives us positive 20. 20 minus 2 is 18, just like we needed it to be. Let's take a look at an example where we need to combine our like terms first. So I have 2m's, and I'm adding 3m's to it, and I have a plus 4, but I can't combine that with anything at the moment. So this is 5m plus 4 equals 34. Okay, I combined all of my like terms. Now I'm going to go ahead and solve. So I'm going to set up my algebra T. I need to get rid of the plus 4, so I subtract 4 from both sides. I get 30 equals 5m. My next step, I divide both sides by 5. And I get m equals 6. Let's check our work. We have, let's see, 2 times 6 plus 4 plus 3 times 6. Well, I need to use my order of operations. I need to multiply first. I get 12 plus 4 plus 18. Okay, 12 plus 4 is 16. Plus 18 does give us, 34, and we're happy campers. Now, this last one is a little bit trickier. Well, not really. You have division and addition, because that's n divided by 2 equals plus 5, excuse me. We need to get n all by itself, so we're going to get rid of the plus 5 first, because we need to get rid of addition and subtraction first. So we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. You have n over 2, n divided by 2 is equal to 10. Now we get rid of our division last. We're going to multiply both sides by 2, and we get 20 equals n. Let's check our work. 20 over 2 plus 5. Let's see what we get. That's going to give us 10 plus 5, which is 15, just like we needed it. All right. We'll do a couple more examples on the back side together, and then I'll let you solve the rest on your own. I'll do 4 of them with you. So I need to get rid of adding and subtracting first. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. I get 60 equals 5t. I divide both sides by 5. T is equal to 12. Here I need to get rid of the plus 4 first. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. I'm left with 4h equals 12. Divide both sides by 4. H is equal to 3. I'll do 2 more with you. Okay, this is division. I need to get rid of my adding first. So I'm going to get rid of adding 4 by subtracting 4. Okay, we need to be careful here because we need to KCC this because you have an integer and subtraction. So that's going to be negative 5 minus 4 is the same thing as negative 5 plus negative 4, which is negative 9. Negative 9 equals y over 4. Now we get rid of division next by multiplying both sides by 4. Boop, boop. And we get y equals negative 36. And the last one I'll do with you. We need to get rid of the subtracting first. We add 80 to both sides. I have negative 40 is equal to negative 8b. Now I get rid of my multiplication by dividing. B is equal to positive 5 because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And all of these, remember, you can check by plugging back in. Why don't you go ahead and solve the next 2 on your own, and you can check my answer key on the website to make sure you're correct.